Hey everyone, I'm Superphiz, and today I'm doing State of the Stake number 30. I come from the ETHStaker community on Reddit and Discord, where our role is to promote the health of the beacon chain. I like to call myself the beacon chain health consultant. What we want to do is keep up with the latest news on the beacon chain for Ethereum 2 and kind of digest that for you into bite-sized chunks every day. This morning we had a really exciting call with the status Nimbus Client team, Sasha, Mamie, and Zahari, and I'm going to link that below. I hope you'll check out the whole call. It included some of the ETHStakers, Patricio and Unvedica were there with us. I've known about the Nimbus Client for a long time. I installed the client back before mainnet launch on a Google Pixel phone, and I had a really great experience with it. But I haven't really tinkered with the Nimbus client since then. Now that we're in mainnet and I'm looking at client diversity, I see that there are two clients that have, let me just say what they are. So Prism and Lighthouse have a lot of use among home users, and Teku is kind of the enterprise client, and then we have Nimbus, which is the low power client. The Nimbus client is targeted at low-end machines or low-powered machines, and it can run on a one-core machine with not much RAM. And so it actually runs very well on a Raspberry Pi 4GB device. And I know there are a lot of stakers who are running or attempting to run Prism and Lighthouse on a Raspberry Pi, and maybe that's successful. I was very hesitant to do that, and I've actively dissuaded people from doing it. If it's working for you, then that's great, and I'm not going to urge you to change. If you're interested in running a staking client on low-powered hardware like a Raspberry Pi, then I think the Nimbus client might be for you. And there's more to using the Nimbus client than just focusing on low-powered hardware. By using a minority client, you actually improve the robustness of the entire network. And let me explain to you why. And we learned a lot about this during the Medalla loss of finality event. So while Medalla was running, there was an issue with one of the majority clients, and more than 33% of the validators on the network went offline. And because that happened, the network stopped finalizing. It took several weeks for the network to resume finalization when everything was up and running stably again. If we have 4 clients, and all of them are running less than 33% of the network, then one client failure cannot take down the network. For example, if they're all running 25% and one of the clients goes out, then we quickly drop to 75% participation, but the network continues finalizing and that client can quickly get up to speed. But if we have one client that is responsible for more than 33% of the network, and that client, for whatever reason, has a fault, then the entire network can stop finalizing until that client gets corrected. In a really strange way of thinking about it, not only do you benefit the entire beacon chain, but you benefit all of the clients by choosing a client that has less than 33% majority stake. The problem is, we don't actually know right now what the distribution of clients are. We have good guesses, but that information is not shared by the clients during validating and proposing. So unless it's broadcast or shared by someone, we can't actually be sure what the dominance of any client is. So we have kind of these perceptions. And right now it is a clear perception that Nimbus is the minority client. And one of the things that I, as Superphiz, will continue to do is encourage use of the minority client until we have what is believed to be a fair distribution. Status, the company behind Nimbus, is known as a privacy-centric company. They also have the Status messaging app. If you're interested in running the Nimbus client, that's awesome. I really think you should jump on board. You can find installation instructions at the link below. I'm going to actually link the Raspberry Pi specific instructions below as well. There's a special set of instructions for Raspberry Pi if you're using a 64 gig micro SD card, Wi-Fi, and 160 gig SSD. So essentially you can perform all of the duties of a validator using a Raspberry Pi and very modest hardware. I'm actually going to put this together today. I have the hardware, I just haven't fooled with it for a while, and I'm really excited to see where Nimbus is going to take us next. Something else that's interesting about Nimbus is they're looking forward to expanding installation onto other low-powered hardware. For example, Mamie suggested that in the future they might even be able to install Nimbus on things like smart TVs, or maybe some of the more powerful Wi-Fi 6 routers. So that's a really exciting future, and I can't wait to see where it takes us. I hope that you take this need to support client diversity seriously. If you heed what I say, we might avert a network problem down the road, and we might promote a more stable and healthy beacon chain network that can last for many years in the future. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you will give Nimbus a try, at least on a test net, and consider using it for mainnet staking. Thanks for your time.